Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Falling on Christ. Today's episode is going to be on Advent and preparing for Christ. Okay, so when it comes to Advent, we hear the phrase, prepare yourself for the Lord a lot, or something similar. And, that can kind of seem like a little bit of a daunting task. Because it feels oftentimes like there's so much that we need to fix about ourselves that before we can truly let Christ in, and which is the ultimate struggle, and it's something we need to deal with year round. But when Advent comes up, it's like, okay, you really need to focus now, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to think about, but think of it this way. It's like, now that Christmas is coming around, we think, if you have a bunch of family coming over, staying over for the Christmas season, or just maybe for the weekend or whatever, it seems like there's so much to do to get ready for them and to get ready for everyone that's coming, and it's a daunting task. And oftentimes it's really hard to know where to start. And that's very similar when it comes to preparing yourself for Christ coming. There's so much to fix about yourself that you don't know where to start. But the one thing that's really important to realize is that God's not expecting you to fix everything about yourself. He's not expecting you to completely redo yourself and, just completely change. Because A, you can't do that on your own. You need Him. And B, it's going to be in His time, not yours. And that's very frustrating. We want to be ready now. We want to have everything down now. But then the sense of waiting, that sense of patience that comes with the Advent season, like that call to patience, it's something we need to really focus on. Because as much as we'd like to be completely prepared for Christ right away, we got to understand that's not going to happen. So we have to kind of sit and wait and listen. We have to listen for the signs that are saying, this is the time to work on this and this and this. Maybe not even that. Maybe it's just saying, this is the time to work on this one thing. And if you're listening to God's voice telling you to fix one little thing, and you focus on that and fix that, that is preparing yourself for Christ. I mean, we don't have to be completely prepared for Him. Not right away. But that's the goal of our life, is by the end of our lifetimes, we want to be prepared for Him as much as we possibly can be. But we can't do that on our own. We can't prepare ourselves without Him. So, we need to really focus on taking that step back and saying, okay, I am feeling called to deal with this thing about me that I need to work on. And I feel like God is telling me that this is the time to do it. That's when you go. That's when you prepare yourself. That's when you start focusing on that one little thing, that one little detail. And sometimes it might not even be that you're actually getting a sign or anything like that. That doesn't happen to everybody. So honestly, just focus on one thing at a time. And just focus on that one little thing, and work hard. But at the same time, make sure you're praying about it, and keeping God behind that effort to change. Because if you're not keeping God in that effort to change, then you're trying to do it by yourself, and it won't work. It will never work if you don't have God helping you, and if you don't let God help you. You have to let Him help you change. So, what do we do with that? If we know that it's time for us to change something, if we know that there's something about us that we need to work on, and if this is the time when we feel like it's the right time to deal with it, how do we fix it? I'm not saying this is a guaranteed way or anything like that, because it's not. But some ideas. One is fasting. Don't do anything drastic when it comes to fasting, because giving up like meat and vegetables for a couple weeks, that might not work out too well. Make sure it's healthy for you and for the people around you. Like personally, I tried to give up hugging once and it did not work at all, and it was really a really bad idea for me to try to do that. So don't do anything that you are dependent upon. Start with small things, like maybe giving up second helpings on dinner, or maybe not drinking pop, or just for like a week or something like that. Small things. But fasting is sacrificing yourself, something that you do, something that makes you happy, or just sacrificing something and offering that sacrifice up to whatever you're fasting for. And whether it be for a person, for, something in yourself to change, like asking for God's help, saying, I will give up this, like, so that I can spend more time focusing on the thing I need to work on. Or just, offering it up for that change. And just pray about it, most especially. And, like, oftentimes we'll feel like prayer isn't working. But it's important to realize that prayer works every time. It just doesn't always work in the way that you expect it to or want it to. But it works in the way that you need it to. And God knows what way that is, that you actually need that prayer that to be granted to you. But we don't. And so don't complain about the end results, because whatever they are, they're for the greater good, and they're for His glory, and they're for you. And those are just a couple ways. Just spend time reflecting on the gospel, especially on His nativity, and especially in this time, and His passion. Always on His passion, focusing on His passion and just reflecting on it. I mean, it does good, and it helps you grow no matter where you are in your faith. So, preparing yourself for Christ. It's not easy. It's really hard. And making changes, especially around this time, it can feel a little rushed and like under pressure, But if you keep God behind your strive for change, I can guarantee you that something good will come from it, no matter what. Because God will always be there to help you grow, whether you see it or not. Thank you guys again for supporting me, and if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you have anything that you want to ask me personally, again, email me at fallingonchrist@gmail.com, all lowercase, all one word, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.